What's going on, PC fam? Happy Wednesday. Welcome to another episode of Chill with Chill. As y'all know, the season is full swings. We got a lot to talk about today. Chill, tell me what's up. How you doing today?
It's basketball season, Big Ox. You know what time it is, big boy. It is basketball season. 100% it is. Yes, sir.
Waiting. It's finally here.
It was a little bit of a slow night last night. Well, only 3 games on the docket, so I get it.
Yeah.
But
you checked all those out?
I did. To be honest with you, League Pass was getting funky last night. I was trying to watch the Clipper game, and it just wouldn't cooperate for no reason. It just wouldn't work, and I don't get it. It just wouldn't. But
who did the Clippers have last night?
They had Orlando.
Mm-hmm. That's right.
They had Orlando, and I was able to watch some of it, and then it just got funky. I don't know what happened, which had me thinking about the Clippers in Orlando, because I'm watching them basically serve Orlando, and I'm thinking to myself, how come the Lakers couldn't do that? What was going on? Like, why couldn't the Lakers handle them like the Clippers handled them? Even though Russ, if I'm not mistaken, Big Ox, I believe it was in the first quarter, Russ, Kawhi Leonard, and Paul George, I think they shot like 1 for 12 to start the game. They were terrible to start the game. They weren't very good. And then they eventually got going. I'm thinking, I mean, I know it's a long season, and I know that at any point, anybody could be anybody on any given night. And we're going to talk about what happened with Phoenix and San Antonio. But I'm watching the effort right from the beginning. I'm watching the effort throughout the game. And I'm thinking to myself, why couldn't the Lakers handle these dudes like the Clippers did? And it got me thinking about what Ron said, that maybe these dudes ain't as good as I think they are. I don't know if that's 100% true, but to be honest with you, I can't say it's 100% false neither. I can't say it's 100% false, Big Ox, because I'm looking at that crew, man, and I'm thinking y'all should be as good as Orlando is. Orlando is a fringe playoff team at best. If you guys are a contender in the Western Conference, like I think you are, you should be handling teams like the Orlando Magic. Yo, Unc, it was on a back-to-back. So it wasn't like you played in Sacramento the night before and then you had to go to Milwaukee, or you played in Sacramento the night before and you had to go to Miami or to New Orleans. It was right down the road. It was at home. So
I mean, it was a tough game to set overtime. I mean, Bron and AD played heavy minutes.
Yeah, they did.
I'm with you though. Like, I mean, it's just right down the street. You know, it was a quick travel.
Right.
I definitely would have expected the Lakers to have a better outing.
Yeah, I thought that they was going to handle them, and since we on that subject, Big Ox, and I do want to stay there. I just saw something, Big Ox. You know your Warriors. I mean, you know your Kings. Since the last 17 games, your Kings have. I think they played the Warriors 12 of the last 17 games.
Yeah.
What is going on, B?
Just how they doing our schedule. Loaded us up heavy, too quick, like 2 back-to-back. I don't know why it's weird how they doing like the schedules now. Because like if you look at San Antonio, Phoenix, they're playing again tomorrow.
Right.
So it looked like at the end of the season last year, we played them twice at the end of the season. I know we played them the last game of the season last year, and then played them a time again close before that. Right. And then now we already playing them twice again. So I don't know. Man,
I'm trying to make sense of it, Big Ox. Is the NBA looking at Sacramento like, y'all snuck up on everybody last year. Y'all ain't sneaking up on nobody this year. So what we're gonna do is we're gonna load up on your schedule.
I don't know. It's easy for me to say, I feel like the NBA hates us. So
yeah, you do. You've already made that, including the Laker cartel. We already made that clear.
Oh well, yeah. That goes without saying. But of the games you did see last night, what stood out to you? What are you impressed by? What are you waiting to see? What are you down? Who are you down on?
I'm worried about the Cavs, and the same thing. Yeah, I am worried about the Cavs because I know it's early in the season, and it's important to get off to it. It's really important to get off to a good start, and the Cavs haven't gotten off to a good start. Injuries have affected them. No Jared Allen, no Darius Garland. Donovan Mitchell missed a game 2 nights ago. Offensively, Evan Mobley, he is giving me Anthony Davis vibes early on, where like I watched him a couple of nights ago, he went 33 and 13. And then he goes up against Chet and he goes 15 and 15. And I'm thinking to myself, and then last night he was pedestrian at best. He doesn't really look as aggressive as I'd like him to look offensively. Donovan Mitchell is passing the ball and he's getting everybody involved offensively. Defensively, I still think Evan Mobley is at the top of the league. I thought he did a damn good job last night on Julius Randle. Made him work for every shot that he made and the shots that he missed. Evan Mobley was all over him. I still think he roughed him up a little bit, but I thought he handled himself better this time than he did the last time, for the most part. What I'm worried about is I'm worried about them in terms of their rotation, because I see what they have in terms of their rotation and guys being able to knock down open shots. That is very important when you're playing against the better teams. So when you got a guy like Donovan Mitchell who defenses load up on and he's not able to score, and then you getting guys like D Wade, you're getting guys like Strus, you're getting guys like Imani Bates, who's played in the last couple of games, get guys like Sam Merrill, you're getting guys like that that have open shots, and you're not making open shots. I don't like the way that's looking early, Big Ox, because I got high hopes for this Cavs team. I think that they're a top 3 seed in the East. I do. And I think that them having to get it together, I think this part of the season is the most important for them, because if you get out to a good start, I mean, that could definitely be momentum throughout the season. But if you're starting uphill where Jared Allen is out, Darius Garland is out, Donovan Mitchell is in and out of the lineup. When you have stuff like that, it's hard to build that continuity. It just is. And I just want to see more of this group together. That's more than anything. Like I said, Big Ox, I still think Evan Mobley is one of the best defensive players. And I think he's the defensive player of the year this year with him and Anthony Davis. And I thought he did a better job on Julius Randle last night. I didn't think that I thought that he held his own for the most part.
Right. As far as it goes, it's still, like you said, it's still early.
Mm-hmm.
But I mean, we can see probably like that who's that top 5-6 teams. We can see who's that bottom 5-6 teams. But that other 17, 20 teams. Yeah. I think I'm gonna wait till about Thanksgiving. I'm gonna wait till about Thanksgiving to really call it for them, because it's just so it's so shaky right now. I just don't know what to expect, especially guys missing games like the Cavs. It'll be different. It'll be different when Darius and Jared are there. I think they can beat. I think they're better than the Knicks with Jared.
I think so too. I do. I really do. I think so too. As good as the Knicks are, and the Knicks got a damn good team, Big Ox. I think Jalen Brunson, one of the best scoring guards in the game. He's got that herky-jerky game where he's really crafty, and he's really good at creating space. I think one of his flaws is that he doesn't really pass it with the best of him, and I think you can exploit that. But I think the Knicks are a top 5 seed in the East. And then I'm looking at like you just said, we have an idea about who the 5 best teams are in the Eastern Conference. Boston, Philly is looking like that right now. Boston, Milwaukee, Philly. I think the Cavs, the Knicks. But then you got teams like Indiana, right? Then you got teams like Indiana that's looking really good, right? And you got teams like Indiana, and I know it's early. I'm not going to jump the gun and go, yo, this team is not making the playoffs. No, I don't feel like that like I do teams like Memphis or teams like that. No, I don't feel like that. But I just worry about the teams like the Cavs because they're so young, and continuity is a huge thing for these dudes early. It's a big thing. And if you guys don't get that chemistry and that continuity down early, you could be playing uphill the rest of the season. And I don't want to see that. I don't.
Yeah, and that's something on the panel. Obviously, you've been bringing up. Tick has been really big on guys starting slow, and I don't think it's too. I don't think we've gone far enough to where we're at that point yet. Like if we get to December And these teams that are supposed to be top 5 seeds are, you know what I'm saying? I don't know. Let's say these teams are 8-17 or something like that, you know, some wild like that. And then okay, then at that point, all right, you're behind the ball. But to start out 2-3, 2-4, that's, you know, I don't think that's cause for alarm, especially for teams that are missing guys that will be back. You know, if these aren't season-ending injuries or whatnot, I'm not too worried about it yet.
Like Phoenix, like you big on Phoenix, Big Ox, and you're not concerned with them at all, even though both Devin Booker and Bradley Beal are out of the lineup, and Bo hasn't been playing at all. I'm still I do understand, but you know, guys like that haven't been playing, so I do need to see it. I would like to see these guys on the floor,
right?
More. That way I can get a better gauge and a better idea of what I'm looking at when I look at this crew.
Well, my thing with the Suns especially is when Devin Booker comes back, he doesn't need any time to adjust. I know what time it is as soon as he gets on the hardwood.
Right.
But there's that, and I feel the same way about Bradley Beal as well. Both of those guys, when they're on the court, don't got nothing to worry about. Right. But while they are off the court, I'm looking at Eric Gordon hitting big shots. I'm looking at Grayson Allen, who I'm not a fan of, playing good basketball. You know what I'm saying? Goodwin's playing good basketball. Josh Okogie's playing good basketball. Yusuf Nurkic's playing good basketball. Eubanks playing good basketball. I would like to see Chimezie Metu get some time, but Nazir Little playing good basketball. So, you know,
I ain't gonna lie to you, Big Ox. As much as I'm not feeling Phoenix, the fact that the roster got flipped the way it did, and the continuity issues that we talking about, I dig Watanabe, yo. I do.
Oh yeah, that's what it is.
I really dig Watanabe. I dig what he brings coming off the bench, man. I dig how he stretches the defense. I dig the long ball shooter that he is, the transition player that he is, what he brings them. I do dig him. I'm not all the way in on Phoenix because of the roster getting flipped, and I'm not sure about KD if he's going to hold up. But with that being said, those rotation guys actually are better than to start. They've actually been better than just at the dirty work stuff. They've been better than what I thought that they were going to be to start the season.
I don't like KD playing this many minutes. Like last night in the beginning, and I know they lost anyway. Yeah. But KD probably wouldn't have played the fourth quarter for me. And it would have been like, yo, if y'all can't pull this game out, so be it. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Y'all gotta play good basketball without Kevin Durant. KD, I just don't like KD in those minutes this early in the season, like having to play that much.
What are you concerned with, Ox? What's the problem? Why are you concerned with him playing these many minutes? Are you concerned with him breaking down?
Yeah, just because how you say. I mean, and it's lower body injuries.
Right.
You know what I mean? It's lower body injuries, and so I just, you know.
Well, KD is one of those guys, exactly like you said, Big Ox. KD is one of those guys who, at some point, you got to get him some help, because KD in year 17, I got a lot of miles on me, yo. A lot of miles on me. And it's obvious watching him last night, the skill set is still there, but he doesn't, he still has that step, but he can't do it like he used to do it. Like, he'll do it in stretches, and he'll do it in spurts. Like I think it was at the end of the third quarter where he had a jab and go. Man, that looked like KD from that looked like KD from a couple of years ago. Now the question is can KD still do that on a consistent basis? Can he continue that with the minutes that you're talking about right now that he playing? Can he continue to do that? And that question needs to be answered, because I've seen him over the last 4 years breaking down, not because he can't play anymore, but because he's getting old. I mean, he said it. Somebody asked him, KD, how do you feel about Wemby being? How do you feel about Wemby saying that you're his idol? He said, I feel old. Because it does make sound like, yo, this kid 18, 19 years old, and I'm his man. He's been watching me since he was a kid. So I mean, I've been around for a long time. So it's something. It's something to be concerned about. Phoenix is a wait and see for me, Big Ox. That roster got flipped over. We still got some continuity issues in Phoenix. The defense doesn't look bad. It doesn't look bad. My main concern is KD being able to hold up.
Yeah. Back to what Yuta Watanabe, you were talking about him. I had no idea he was such an animal on that defensive end. I didn't know. I thought, I didn't watch him play that much before this, like for the Nets and whatnot. I saw some games, but I wasn't hit. I'm liking what I see from this kid. He plays defense.
Yes, he does.
There was the one possession where he was guarding Cedi Osman. Osman got the bucket, but he made him turn 3-4 times in the half court setting. And even matter of fact, he swiped down and got called for a foul too. But it was just the aggression in which he was trying to not let him get that bucket. And I loved it. I love the way he was competing on the defensive end.
I think one of the things that we forget about, with dirty work guys like Watanabe, we forget about how much they contribute to teams defensively. There's a reason why Brooklyn had one of the better defensive teams last year in the league, because of their rotation guys. And one of those rotation guys was Watanabe. That's how he got himself. That's how he got himself in the rotation, by defending, by rebounding, right? By getting stops. And like you just said, that play that I saw, that play that you was talking about, Big Ox, it's hard to stop guys in the NBA. Yeah. But if you can make it tough on them, if you can make it hard on them, that shot that you made in the second quarter, that shot you made in the first quarter, that shot you made in the middle of the second, it looked a little bit different in the middle of the third when you making it hard on a guy. It looked a little bit different in the fourth when you making it difficult on a guy. And a guy like Watanabe, I have to accept that he's one of the better dirty work guys in the league. I dig him.
And I think Ron said that yesterday. We were talking about a team. He was saying, well, defense, our job is to stop them from scoring. And I'm like, I don't think that's the defensive job, because you can't stop them from scoring.
Damn.
I mean, obviously, you can make them, score a little less. Yeah, you know what I'm saying.
I know what you mean. Yes,
but we're not stopping these guys from scoring. This is the NBA. You know what I'm saying? All we can do is make it real hard and make the other guys score. So I like when you got guys on the floor. When you got Grayson Allen, Watanabe, and Josh Okogie on the floor together, there's going to be some high level defense being played.
Especially Ox, when a dude gets going. Like when a guy get going, it's really nothing that you can do. I don't care who it is in the NBA, because these guys are such phenomenal scorers. They shoot the long ball. A lot of these guys are versatile scorers. So if you can make it as difficult as possible, a guy like Watanabe, who was 6'8", 6'9", and making it difficult on a guy, and you got that in your rotation, that's why he's going to play for Frank Vogel, because he does the stuff that's required by Frank Vogel. That's why Bol hasn't been in the lineup like he should be. And a lot of people see Bol as an offensive player that he is, but the stuff that Frank Vogel requires, where you're a defensive presence, where you're going to play hard-nosed basketball, where they're going to be one of the better defensive teams in the game. They're going to be one of the better defensive teams in the game. You got to be able to do that in order to get on the floor. I think Frank Vogel will deal with the other stuff from you. He'll deal with you missing shots. I think he'll deal with the turnovers. He'll handle that if it's not egregious. But what he's not going to deal with is if you're not going to compete on the defensive end, if you're not going to rebound, if you're not going to be a defensive presence. He's not trying to hear that. No.
Right. And he shouldn't have to deal with that either.
Right.
Real quick, let me check this super chat we got from FIFA Boy.
Yeah.
He wants to know, are y'all out on the Grizzlies for the season?
I am. I would not be surprised. I'm not gonna pull any punches with you, FIFA Boy. I don't think they're making the playoffs. So you lose Ja for a third of the season almost. Not only do you lose Ja for a third of the season, you lose your best rebounder in Steven Adams and one of your best dirty work guys in Steven Adams. You lose your second best dirty work guy in Brandon Clark, who is also a force on the backboard. There's a reason why Memphis is one of the better defensive teams in the game. It was because of those two guys, both Steven Adams and Brandon Clark, who did what they did, right? So now you don't have those guys. Now you bring in Marcus Smart. Who's now got to get acclimated to what's going on between him and Desmond Bane. He's got to learn how to play off of him, because it wasn't like what's going on in Boston, where basically Marcus Smart and Jrue Holiday did the same thing. So that transition is way less difficult between those two dudes, because I essentially do the same thing you do. I just do it better. Now it's just a matter of trust in Boston. With these two dudes, Ja's out the lineup. So with Ja being out the lineup, him and Marcus Smart are two completely different players. Now Desmond Bane has to get acclimated to playing off of him. And he's got to get acclimated to playing with Derrick Rose, who we still think at this point, Derrick Rose is viable. Derrick Rose is, I think he's a solid rotation guy. I'm not going to go off the deep end and go, yo, Derrick Rose is garbage, because no, he is not. Derrick Rose is not whack. He's a solid rotation guy. But to have to depend on him like you're going to have to depend on him with Ja being out almost a third of the season, with all of those things that I just mentioned, I don't think Memphis is making the playoffs. I think they're going to be on the outside looking in this year.
Yeah, I don't got him either. Before we do get to the lobby, let me shout out a couple of these GOAT members that we have. We have GOAT members, Cobra, son of Riddix, Comatose and Clutch, and Evian Plumber. If you want to be a member, just click join and you'll see all of our membership offers. It's right down there. Let me see who we got in the back. Devion, what's up, my brother?
What up?
How y'all feeling?
What up, brother? What's going on with you?
All right.
Yeah, one thing y'all didn't say about Yuta that y'all never mentioned was his rebounding. He a real good rebounder too, and help defender. And he Yuta Watanabe.
Yes,
Watanabe. That's what I mean. Yeah, one thing y'all didn't mention was his rebounding. I think he a real good rebounder, especially help side defender. He got good hands, and I think the way Frank Vogel got them playing, he got them. The role players, they got the green light. Like yesterday, I seen role players taking shots that I didn't even think they should have took. Like that shot, like especially Grayson Allen, he was shooting deep threes, he was shooting all type of stuff. He shot that 1-3 in the corner. I was like, man, it was tough.
He made two of them actually in a row.
Yeah, like if they playing like this and then D Book and Bradley Beal come back, it's gonna be scary. I ain't gonna lie. Definitely.
What I'm worried about is Bradley Beal with this back injury. Is this thing worse than what than what they're telling us? That's the thing that I'm concerned with Bradley Beal, because I don't think that his ability to score is in question. We all know who Bradley Beal is as a one-on-one player, as a scorer. I don't think that's the issue. My question is with this back injury, which hampered him last season too, is this thing more serious than what they're telling us?
I mean, it definitely could be, especially because he started the season off not playing. Definitely. Right. Like if they already know they got to get their chemistry together, it's a new team, it's a new coach, new everything. So them playing as soon as early as they can is the best thing for them. So him not playing is definitely showing that it's worse than it definitely seemed. Like him missing the first two games, okay, cool. We in the third, fourth game of the season, whatever. Right. He still haven't played yet. Right. So I mean, it definitely could be worse.
With it. I definitely am concerned with it because that's firepower that they don't have. And Big Ox just alluded to it that, you know, the longer KD is out there, which I want KD on the floor. But if KD doesn't have to play 35 minutes every night, 38 minutes, you preserve him. Right. And I think that when you preserve him, you lessen the chances of him getting hurt. But when he's out there, where last night he basically played the majority of the game, right? And I think that that's something at this juncture in year 17, with his injury history over the last 4 years, I think we're gonna see the same thing, Big Ox. I think we'll see the same thing moving forward if this continues. That's why guys like Devin Booker, that's why guys like Bradley Beal, that's why guys like Watanabe and guys like that are instrumental to KD surviving this season without an injury where they lose him for a month. Because I'm gonna be honest with you, Big Ox, they can't afford to lose him for 2 months. They can't.
Right.
Phoenix cannot have like what happened in Brooklyn. Phoenix can't afford to lose KD for 2 months.
Him or D Book, they lose either one of them for 2 months. They going down.
I think all they need is any two of them at any given time.
Right.
Like if they got KD and Brad, they're all right. They got KD and Book, they're all right. They got Book and Brad, they're all right.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? That's just my opinion.
Right.
Obviously you want all three of them.
Right.
Exactly. I always think about the same, like even let's say Bradley Beal, he just come in at let's say 3/4 of the season, he fully healthy. Now they finally all get to play at the same time. Let's say D Book go down for another month. When they get to the playoffs and when it's time to come, regardless, they got all the players. If the chemistry is not there, it's not gonna matter. Like regardless who you got on the court, and they can't play all together because they don't have the same. They haven't played the same for the same amount of time. It's gonna be bad. Like if they haven't got the rotations together, they haven't got comfortable playing with each other for a good amount of time. No matter who on the court, it's gonna be bad.
Yeah.
Yeah, and again, I think we're. I don't want to say overvaluing that, but I think we are overvaluing that when you got Devin Booker and Kevin Durant. I think and you said 3/4 of the season, that's plenty of time, especially with unselfish superstars and very competitive role players and dirty work guys. I just don't see that being an issue with this team.
But the thing is, Big Ox, when you have guys like Devin Booker and Bradley Beal and Kevin Durant, the more you have them on the floor, the more likely the chemistry is going to work, as opposed to I got them for 3 games. Because that's the same thing we saw in Brooklyn. When they was on the floor,
Lakers too.
That's the same thing we saw in Brooklyn. Because when KD,
those are different players, though.
Well, KD, Kyrie, and James Harden. Well, I'm talking about the same caliber of player. And when you have the same, when you got that level, when you got that caliber player, that level of player, it's important for us to be on the floor as much as possible, because I need to understand how you play. Don't get me wrong, Ox. At the end of the day, and I'm on your page with this, that it's basketball. But I need to know how you like the basketball, where you want the basketball, when to get out the way, when to get the ball from you, how you like to operate, how you play defense. Things like that matter. And the more we're on the floor together, the more chemistry you and I are going to build, as opposed to, all right, Big Ox, me and you've been playing together for 2 weeks, and then you're out the lineup for another 2 games. Then we play again for another 3 weeks, and then you're out. Then I'm out the lineup for another month, and then you play again, and then I'm out the lineup for another 3 weeks. We can't really develop any sort of chemistry like that, and especially when you get to the playoffs, because as many sets as we have, there's going to come a point where I need you to go get a bucket. And I need to know how you get in these buckets. I need to know, we need to stop. And I need to know how Big Ox times shots or when he's rebounded. I need to get more acclimated to him. And if you're not out there, and if we're not out there for an extended period of time, it's going to be hard to develop that.
Yeah, I can see that. Well, all right, Davion, I appreciate you pulling up, bro.
Yeah, I appreciate y'all for letting me on.
Yeah, catch us on Saturday, man.
Yes, sir.
I'll be back.
All right.
Mm-hmm.
Let me see. 100%.
Yeah.
Hey, Sturdy, what up?
What up?
Yo, salute, chill. How y'all been? How y'all doing, man?
What up?
All right.
All right, yo, I'm just get right to it, chill. I'm gonna answer the title of the video in 2 different ways. We'll start from a macro level and get down to a micro level, right?
Right.
Not only winning a championship for that Clippers team is huge for the individual players, but look at it from a franchise perspective, chill. Let me ask y'all something. How many franchises do y'all think never made finals?
Never made
the NBA finals.
Never made the NBA finals. Let's see if we go through history. Let's see. The Clippers never been in the NBA championship. If I'm looking at the league, right? If I'm looking at the league, and I look at the landscape of the league, there aren't many teams that, if I run down, okay, the Celtics been in the NBA championship, Philly, Milwaukee, Indiana's been in the NBA
Clippers
finals.
and the Timberwolves, right?
The Bulls been in the NBA championship, Orlando, the Knicks, the Pistons. Let's see, Washington, they've been in the NBA championship. So Charlotte's never been in the NBA championship.
That's two, chill.
Charlotte's never been in the NBA.
Oxy said one of them already.
Yeah, Charlotte,
Timberwolves, Clippers, Charlotte.
That's 3.
Atlanta's never been in the NBA championship. Let's see here.
Bob Pettit. So,
well, that's St. Louis. That's not Atlanta. No.
Okay. That's 4.
So Atlanta's never been in the NBA championship. Minnesota's never been in the NBA championship. Memphis has never been in the NBA championship.
That's 5.
And the Clippers have never been in the Clippers have never been in the NBA championship. Sacramento's never been in the NBA championship neither.
Oh well, yeah, we were.
Yeah. So, and also the Pelicans. So that's 7 teams.
Right.
7 teams in NBA history that have not made it to the finals. And out of the Clippers, they are the oldest team. They went to LA in 1985 till now, chill. Mm-hmm. So what I'm simply saying from a micro level, them winning a championship, not even one of those 7 teams not even beat to the finals to win a championship is huge. Not to mention from a financial perspective that you and I both know. We saw the dynasty of the Warriors when they moved to another arena like the Clippers are going to. They were leaving the arena. They leaving Oakland as champions, and we all both know Oakland Arena as champions is completely different from Oakland Arena by itself. Right. You're just going to get more merch, more attention, and most importantly, a bigger sale to the folks. That's number 2. Number 3, we see the star players of that roster. We see the reputation and legacy that quote-unquote guys on that roster have put for themselves, like Westbrook, who's been labeled multiple times as a guy that you quote-unquote can't win the big one with. Same thing with James Harden. Paul George never even been to the finals, and he still got that quote-unquote stigma on a playoff peak. Not to mention a guy like Kawhi who been accused not unable to win without a competent or great front office like the Toronto Raptors at the time and the Spurs. So from a micro level, look at the perception of all those guys. You can't, if that team wins, you cannot say guys like Harden, you can't label guys like Harden, PG, and Westbrook losers anymore. That's huge.
That is an insane, absolutely insane, borderline moronic indictment on Kawhi Leonard.
It is.
Wow,
it's insane. I mean, what do you mean? How so? How is it? How are you supposed to win a championship without a competent front office? Like, so to say that Kawhi can't win without a competent front office is not it's not an insult. It's not an indictment. That's just how it works in basketball.
I agree. Like most narratives for players, unfortunately, the narratives don't have much logic to it. To me, winning a championship is a team achievement. However, we all know certain players get titled with that stigma when their teams simply don't win it. Like Chill mentioned all the time, there's nothing wrong in losing to the champions, like James Harden did with the Houston Rockets three times, by the way, and two of them was in the Western Conference Finals. But people will say, people still hold that against him because even though he averaged 30 in two of those three series we're talking about, even though he did play well in most of those games, he still get labeled as a loser. So I understand when you say it's idiotic, it's moronic, but sometimes narratives are that way. And what I'm simply saying is to answer the title of the video, that's how much a title would change that narrative for those guys. And then another thing too, go ahead, Trey.
Keep going. I'm listening.
Okay. And last thing too, and the same thing with Ty Lue. Ty Lue has been a guy who's been losing a little steam for winning that championship in Cleveland a little bit. Now he's been questioned recently. Is he a small ball merchant? Can he only win without LeBron? So these are all the things I'm saying with the championship would change the perception of those guys in that franchise. And you compare it to the other contenders, Chill.
Yep.
I think we'll have the biggest turnaround for the Lakers. Right. When you think about it.
So if you go back to when Kawhi Leonard was drafted, if I'm not mistaken, I think he was a top 12 pick, something like that.
Sir.
I think he was a top. So when you get a guy that's drafted that high, right? When you get a guy that's drafted that high, it's obvious that he's going to be integral on what you're trying to do early. Mm-hmm. So the Indiana Pacers basically handed him over. I don't know what the hell they were thinking, but they handed him over because I think they already had Paul George at that time, right? So they handed him over, and he becomes an immediate impact on a unit that was already set, right? The unit was already set, but these guys are aging. Okay, Duncan's been around for a long time. His role is changing. We're talking about a guy in Manu Ginobili, who when they won the NBA championship, am I at a line to say that Kawhi Leonard in 2014 was a better player than a 35-year-old rotation player in Manu Ginobili? Was Kawhi Leonard better than him? I'd like to think so.
Anybody with eyes knew that, Anybody with eyes can see that.
I'd like to think that he was a better player than a 35-year-old rotation. Don't get me wrong. Manu Ginobili was still very effective, but Leonard was better. Leonard was better than him at that particular time. Tim Duncan's role had clearly changed in 2014 when they won the NBA championship. He was on the other side of who he used to be. That they were basically segueing Leonard into that role of being the guy at that point. They were segueing him into being that guy. And when he gets on that unit, he's becoming that. So when guys like Tim Duncan are on their way out, when guys like Tony Parker, when those guys are on the other side of who they were, now Kawhi Leonard is now turning into that. He had some misfortune where he got injured. I'm on record sturdy saying if he doesn't get Zaza'd against San Antonio in 2017, I ain't saying that they win that series. I put every dollar that they're not sweeping the San Antonio Spurs.
Nah, they go 6 games. They're
not sweeping them. I'm not.
Chill and Oz, y'all know about the Spurs, especially that 2014 Spurs that you were just referring to. In my opinion, that's a top 10 team, especially in modern era. The way they move the ball, the way they play as a unit, offensively and defensively, that balance, right? And we don't see that often in any team throughout NBA history.
Right, and that's not a knock to anybody. That is
it's not enough.
Like that shows ability to play basketball. That shows ability to think basketball and be a lockdown defender.
But chill and y'all talked about on panel earlier today in regards to like if they win a championship, Kawhi would be one of the most weirdest guys to rank in the NBA
It's
pantheon.
gonna get
Chill,
so tricky. It's gonna get so tricky.
because everyone, I don't care what anybody says, everyone values the regular season. Part of the difficulty of the NBA, the fact that maintaining a high level production, playing 82, that matters, and that is difficult to do. So the fact that a guy like Kawhi, if he were to win a championship, right, that's 3 Finals MVPs as the best, as arguably, outside 2014, majority of the time you're the best player on that team. You are the difference maker. So, but from an accolade perspective, he has the accolades, he has the winning, but he doesn't have the longevity. He doesn't have the chapters or pages of his impact and footprint on the league during the regular season. Right. So, to conclude it, if the Clippers were to win the championship this year, what would y'all project Kawhi would be ranked all time?
Well,
right now he's ranked. Right now, in my opinion, he's ranked about top 30, top 35ish.
Well, you just mentioned it. You talked about narratives, right? So the narrative on Kawhi Leonard, like what you just brought up, the fact that he's won the NBA championship on 2 different teams and been the Finals MVP on 2 different teams. So to win the NBA championship on 3 different teams and to be the Finals MVP on 3 different teams, I think only James is the only one who said
that's the only one.
James will be the only one. So now what we have to do is we have to go about we can't just go about championships. Because that's what the narrative is going to be. It's going to be about, at the end of the day, did you win championships? It's not going to be about resumes, because we got to put your resume in it too. That's why guys like Russell Westbrook, we gotta change our tune about Russ. Because if the Clippers were to win the NBA championship, which, by the way, me and Big Ox was talking about this earlier. We talk a lot about these teams, even though I'm out on the Clippers. We never talk about, like, what if this thing actually works? What happens? What happens if they work this thing out and they figure this out? What happens if the Clippers end up winning the NBA championship and Russell Westbrook plays well enough? Now you look at Russell Westbrook's resume, plus adding a championship to that, with him being a starting point guard on a championship team.
Chill. Me personally, chill. I already have Westbrook borderline top 10. He's 11th greatest point guard of all time to me. But if he were to do that, chill, that's literally checking the biggest weakness off his box. Honestly, he could go from 11 to anywhere from 7 to 10.
It'd be
like hard. That's how important.
It'd be hard when you add his resume in, and you talk about narratives. Like, people talk about narratives. And we're being honest. If you add Russell Westbrook's resume in, what he accomplished, being an All NBA performer, being a league MVP, it's only 5 point guards in the history of the league won league MVP, and he's one of them. Being a league MVP, being a member of the 25,000 point, 10,000 assist club, which he's going to do, being those things, plus being a starter, plus being how we look at Oscar Robertson. Just so you know, it ain't like Oscar Robertson got 6 or 7 championships. Oscar Robertson got 1 ring. That's it.
I remember the narrative, and to me, I don't devalue the triple double. I don't care how frequent Russ did it. This man's about to be he's already the all-time leader in triple doubles. He's about to get 200 triple doubles.
And it's not close, by the way. Just so we clear, it's not close. It's not close.
I remember that. So you remember that narrative, bro? Remember, like, how people say how it'd be incredible to actually see a guy average a triple double. Like, I don't care if he did it for 4 years. That's still difficult to do it for a whole season. And he did it for 4. Like, that's crazy.
That's crazy, and that's why study. I'm sure you've seen the thumbnail. Everybody's seen the thumbnail on this. If you look at the thumbnail, Kawhi Leonard is not on there.
Right. It's just hard.
That's why I asked you that question, Ox. That's why I asked you that question.
Well, to me, because they win the championship, that doesn't do anything for Kawhi where it does for the other 3. Like, don't get me wrong. It'll a ring boost anybody. Like, it'll boost anybody. For instance, Candace Parker just got a ring this year for the WNBA. She was hurt most of the season, but it's a ring. It's gonna boost her up a little bit.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Mitch Richmond, he snuck in there and got that ring with the Lakers.
Every time I think about that, I think about a dude like sneaking in the back of a hall and like seeing a plate of food on the table and just like just grabbing it off the table and running out. Yeah, just running out. That's different.
Chill. He's not gonna help you. Chill. He's not gonna help you clean up. Chill. He gonna show up to the cookout late, just grab plate and dip. That's all.
It's like Martin in life when he was old and ran and stole that pie.
Yes.
You know,
man.
You know, but this is my thing though. And I hate this logic with Kawhi Leonard because if y'all ever listen to it, you listen to guys talk about Grant Hill, Penny Hardaway, Brandon Roy, and it's always like, man, let's talk about how good these guys would have been if they weren't hurt.
Right.
But when it comes to Kawhi Leonard, well, he's hurt, so he's a bum. He's hurt, so he's not this. He sucks. He's overrated.
Right.
Everybody else gets their careers boosted. Derrick Rose gets his career boosted. Grant Hill is in some circles considered the best player we never got to see. But when it comes to Kawhi Leonard, motherfuckers want to hate. They can't accept the fact that this man's knees are crumbling. Like his knees are crumbling.
He's not injured. It's the difference between being injured and having a condition. He's got a condition that's just going to get worse. That's what's happening with him, Big Ox. That's exactly what you just mentioned it. He's not injured where he's got a bum shoulder. No, he's got a condition that's going to get progressively worse as time goes on. So we basically on borrowed time with Kawhi Leonard. We don't know how much.
I know a little bit about knees. You know what I'm saying? I had a knee surgery that would typically have you out for 4 months. I couldn't hoop for about 10. I had a doctor tell me your knee looks like you're about 65. You got that Brandon Roy situation going on.
Right.
If I hoop for 3 days straight, I got to sit down for 4 or 5 days in ice every 15 minutes. Elevate. I know that's not no joke.
Right.
Like Kawhi Leonard is trying to play basketball.
People can't accept the fact.
In a way, with his condition, right, you can see his career as impressive. It's not like this guy don't have anything. This dude got 2 defensive player of the years. I believe six all defensive teams. And then on top of that, he's one of 7 players to score 700 points in the playoffs, Chill.
Yes.
7. Like, that's not no easy thing. So I'm saying, and that's what I'm trying to ask y'all, because, like, it's tricky ranking this dude all time, dude, because he doesn't have no longevity, but he does have the impact when he is available.
Right.
And it's I don't know, man.
I got roasted, and like this dude in the comments, Duke Baylox said, I'm not off the hook because I said Kawhi Leonard deserved the vote for 2016 league MVP. Steph shouldn't. I'm not sure Steph should have won it unanimously. If you saw what Kawhi Leonard did during that season, I ain't saying that Steph shouldn't have won the league MVP. I ain't saying that. But what I'm looking at from that season and what he did, Tim Duncan was over. Manu Ginobili was 38. Tony Parker was on the other side of who he used to be. All of these guys were way past what they were. All of these guys were. And they won. You know how hard it is to win 67 games with you as the man? With you as the man. Right. At that point, Kawhi Leonard was considered. At that point, Kawhi Leonard was in the conversation as the best two-way player in the game. As the best two-way player in the game. He was in that conversation with guys like James. It wasn't a question that he was in that conversation. So to say that for everything that he did, he almost went 50, 40, 90 that year. I think he won the defensive player of the year. I'm sorry. I think he finished second to Draymond Green in defensive player of the year.
No, he won it. He won it in 2016.
He won it that year? I thought so. He won it. So he won it in 15, 16, and 16, 17. I'm sorry. I thought he won it in 14, 15, and 15, 16. My fault. So with that being said, everybody's talking to me about the fact that, he only averaged 21 a game. So understand what MVP means. MVP does not mean the best player. MVP means the most valuable to your team's, the most valuable player to your team's success. I don't have to average 30 a game to be the league MVP because there's plenty of guys that average 30 a game that are not the league MVP. And that 21 and a half a game that Leonard averaged, that was crucial to them winning 67 games. Crucial.
You know what it is, Phil? I think my fault. I just want to
go ahead. You wrap it up. I just realized that you've been up here for about 15 minutes. We having good conversation.
You know, that's what happens when you have a good basketball talk, man.
It's all good. It's good convo. Go ahead, finish your point up. It's all good.
But Chill, I think we also got to remember in 2016, that was the first year LaMarcus Aldridge got to Spurs too.
Right.
And I think that took away some of Kawhi MVP viable because LaMarcus Aldridge was playing well that year too. Mm-hmm. So I think it was a little bit of that than opposed to Steph, where simply put, the gap between Steph and Klay for that year was wider than the gap between LaMarcus Aldridge and Kawhi. You know what I'm saying? That's at least
the gap between Steph and Klay was wider than the gap between Lamar and LaMarcus Aldridge and from a player standpoint. From a player standpoint.
I'm saying from a valuable standpoint, because like I said, Chill, like people forget that year LaMarcus Aldridge was playing well. I understand he wasn't putting up the same production, but you're not going to. It was a different team, and on the same Spurs, he said it himself. It took a moment to get acclimated to the new Spurs system. Right. Even then, he put up 18 and 9. Still, not like he didn't turn off too crazy. So what I'm saying,
I can make the same argument for Klay Thompson. I mean, Steph Curry. You know what I'm saying? Steph Curry I think he had 400 threes that year. Who was second in the league in long balls? It was Klay.
Yeah.
That's what he was running with.
So last question, Chill. To be the man, you got to beat the man. So look, we've been trying to do this thing, but like Lamont set up a debate card this Saturday. Are you available for a debate? Celtics versus Lakers.
Not this Saturday, unfortunately. Not this Saturday, but it's going to happen. This thing is going to happen. Let's make sure we're clear about that. This thing is gonna. It's like Pacquiao and Floyd Mayweather.
Pacquiao Floyd.
This thing is going to happen. It's gonna happen.
And I was about to drop you, but like I want to get y'all comments on that Ngannou versus Fury fight. It'll be interesting to hear y'all comments on that. Yeah. But like, hit the like button, subscribe if you haven't shared already. It is free. So.
All right, brother. Good to talk to you.
All right,
And the idea that Kawhi Leonard averaged 21 a game. Wait a minute. So if I'm not mistaken, Big Ox. So the year Garnett won the league MVP, you know how many points he averaged that year? I think he averaged 23. 23 a game that year. The year that Tim Duncan won the league MVP, I think he averaged 23. The year that Dirk won the league MVP in 07, I think he averaged 24 a game. So it's not like it's 21 and then everybody else is averaging 40. That's not going on. No, that's not going on at all. So, I mean, there's plenty of guys where the numbers are not that far off. Like I said, this dude is averaging 20. Leonard's averaging almost 22 a game. Dirk's averaging almost 25. So that's a bucket. That's one bucket off. What are we talking about? Plus, you're getting elite play on the defensive side of the basketball. Not saying that Kawhi Leonard deserved the league MVP that year. And I'm not saying that. What I am saying, though, is he's more valuable to that team than y'all gave him credit for.
Yeah, I mean, it's just basic comprehension.
Yes, he was way more valuable than y'all gave him credit for that year.
Yeah, comprehension is definitely key. The GOAT Angie Carr. DeJuan Blair played with no ACL. Kawhi ain't ready. You count on Angie. Come with some good humor, lighten the mood always. Showtime, what did you see from the Spurs last night?
I see a young team that's figuring it out. That's what I see more than anything. I see guards that are trying to get acclimated to the bright lights and playing with a potential superstar in Wemby. They're trying to figure out where to get him the basketball, how to play with him, understand his tendencies. I saw a guy in Wemby, to be honest with you, Big Ox. I saw a dude playing against his idol for the first time, and his eyes was like saucers. That's what I saw. I saw a guy who grew up watching a guy on TV, and now he's on the floor with him, and he's thinking, "Oh shit, I'm in front of KD." But then later on, he realized, "All right, I got to get to work." Don't get me wrong. This is my idol. This is the dude whose game I love. I love everything about his game, but I got to get to work too. And he eventually started figuring it out, but he does look a little lost out there, and that goes without saying when I just get the job, right? So that offense, he's not really acclimated to playing on the block. So Pop tucks him in the corner. Pop has him on the wing, kind of like he was doing in Europe, but a little bit more because he did play in the post. He doesn't know how to. We went over this earlier today, Big Ox. He doesn't know how to set screens. That's why San Antonio's pick and roll offense isn't as viable as it should be, because he doesn't know how to set screens. He doesn't know how to get guys open off screens. I think that's something that's going to come in time when he learns the game, when he learns when to set screens, how to set screens, how to pop off screens when he's setting the back screen, knowing that the guy who he's setting the back screen on is going to be the guy he's setting the back screen on, the guy who that man is he's setting it on is going to go, which means he's going to be the guy wide open. He doesn't know that yet, but he's going to learn that as time goes on. Pop is going to teach him that. Stuff like that. This kid, Vassell, he's a work in progress. He's another guy whose shot selection is questionable, but it's getting better because I never played with a guy like Wemby. So the amount of open shots that he's going to get, not only the amount of open shots that he's going to get, the amount of contested shots that he's going to get are going to be a little bit different at this point, playing with a dude like Wemby than not playing with a dude like Wemby. The lane is going to look a lot more open because of Wemby. So this San Antonio team, don't get me wrong, Ox, I still think that they got a ways to go, but they're a young team that's just trying to figure it out. That's all they are.
Yeah. I mean, I get you that they got to figure it out, but where do you see them finishing the seasons in terms of wins? Are they plus 30?
I still think they're at the bottom of the Western Conference. I do. And the reason why I feel like they're at the bottom of the Western Conference, because the Western Conference is so tough, man. It just is. And when you look at the teams in the Western Conference that have actually gotten better, right? When you look at the teams in the Western Conference that have actually gotten better, like Houston, right? Like the Clippers, teams like that have actually gotten better, it's going to be hard to crack that. It's going to be hard to crack that top 10, but like teams like Portland, I think Utah is better this year. Houston has gotten better. Teams like that, I think it's going to be between them and I'm not going to say Memphis, because I think Memphis is going to be on the outside looking in, but I don't think they're going to be that bad. Right. So from 22 wins, I mean, 30 wins probably puts them next to last in the Western Conference, maybe second to last or bottom three. I think that's where that leaves them. But I think that's where they are. But I do see, and I will see. I think I'm going to see improvement with this group.
Yeah, I can see it. All right, let me see who we got next up.
Yo,
Holla, Leave Diggy, what up?
What up?
Listen, let's get the bullshit over with right now. We need to tell the goddamn truth about that 2014 Spurs team. Listen, it's not that they was a stacked team. They played as a team. We talking about they supposed big three was how many years removed from retirement, Chilltown?
They was gone. Let's see. So when they won it in 14, Duncan was gone at the end of the 16 season. He was gone. Duncan was gone. Ginobili, I think he played one more year after. He was on that 16-17 team with 3 years. Yeah, so he was on that team, and I think he played one or two more years after that. Tony Parker was traded after the 18 season. So all together, I think like maybe 4 years with that group. Boris Diaw was gone. He wasn't on the crew no more. So that group was they weren't together that much longer after that.
So we talking about a big three that was in their mid-30s. And everybody keep telling me, and I keep hearing, Kawhi played with a super team. Don't get me wrong, that whole season, anybody on that team was an All-NBA performer?
Well, Duncan made the All-League defensive team that year in 14, and the year before he was in 13, he made the All-Pro team. That was it.
That was it. So Duncan. All right, and
Leonard made the All-League defensive team that year in 14.
That year in 14. Okay.
Yeah,
all right. So he was an all-league defender.
Yeah, he was,
so they had two all-league defenders, man.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to stand on the notion that was really a role team. They was just well coached. That was just a team full of role players, and they was just well coached.
I think Tony Parker made the All-Pro team too, if I'm not mistaken. I think he was second team All-Pro the year that they won the NBA championship. Either the year they won it in 14 or the year before in 13. I think he was an All-Pro.
Yeah. But just to harp with Kawhi for a minute, bro. As far as that Toronto championship goes, man, everybody keep talking about the Toronto Raptors was an already built team. Let's remind ourselves they only made the conference finals one time, and that was in 2016, where they only won 2 games off the back of Bismack Biyombo rebounding, if I remember correctly. And then the 2 years after that, they basically was getting broomstick banned by LeBron left and right. And then that's when Kawhi came in 2019, and then he got the job done and got the Toronto Raptors only title. But to go to the title of the video,
they had won the most games though in the 2010s in the Eastern Conference. Toronto
in
did
in the entire decade.
In the entire decade, yes. Toronto won the most games. Nobody won more games than Toronto.
That's how trash the East was. Goddamn.
Yes,
Sorry, conference.
Yeah, they won the most games.
We're not valuing the East.
Because we can do that, and we can talk about how close they were to beating the Cavaliers, and they weren't close to beating the Cavaliers.
They swept them twice in 3 years. They swept them.
They were calling the city Lebronto. He was coming through.
They swept them.
Doing those dudes so disrespectfully.
Yeah, and you got
when you look at the run that the Raptors had.
This
the
is why
run
you got
the playoff run that they had, walking down Giannis, what they did to the Sixers. That speaks for itself, man.
That's what I'm saying. You know, this is why we got buffoons like Jalen Carter co-signing LeBronto. But needless to say, let's go into the title of the video. The Zippers. What does the championship mean for them? For the organization, it's about the same thing that it meant for the Toronto Raptors. I mean, it's gonna mean a lot for about this long. Because in our lifetimes, it's probably going to be the only times we ever see the Clippers win a damn thing. That's the truth.
Well, we can't really say that if we don't know what's going to happen.
I can.
The problem with teams winning it, like for example Toronto, the problem with Toronto winning it is now their fans expect that. They expect that that's what it's supposed to be. And don't get me wrong, if Leonard doesn't leave there, like if he stay on that crew in the 2019-2020 season, they back in the NBA Finals, 100%. They beat Boston. They beat the Miami Heat. You ain't selling me that. They beat all of those teams. No way about it. They definitely beat Philly. You can't give me legit logic that any of those teams, Boston, who was as young as they were, Miami, who was as beat up as they were, you can't give me legit logic that those teams beat that Toronto team coming back. Because remember, they was in a dogfight in the Eastern Conference Finals. In the Eastern Conference Semifinals after Kawhi Leonard left.
With the Sixers,
with these dudes with Leonard back, I think at minimum Toronto is back in the finals. At minimum.
Right.
Yeah, that's hard to say off the strength that the pandemic, like, it really just threw a monkey wrench in everything, man. Honestly, before the pandemic, don't get me wrong, the Lakers was, even though the Lakers was the best team in the West, a lot of people still had the Clippers to win if that pandemic never happened. Realistically, that's just that a lot of people. But I say that to say the championship for the Clippers organization is going to mean a lot for their organization. Obviously, Kawhi resume is going to be boosted. You talked about Russ and you talked about Harden. Now, in between Russ and Harden, you got 2 MVPs. You got plenty of thousands of points, thousands of assists, triple doubles, and all NBA teams, this, that, scoring titles, whatever, blah, blah, blah. Obviously, I will say something about the triple double record. The triple double record, bro, is basically it basically gets disacknowledged because people just decided that they don't like Russ. That's what.
Like if that was anybody else, it would be a way bigger deal. If that was somebody else, it would be a way bigger deal.
If it was LeBron James, then it'd be something, you know. But people just decided that they don't like Russ.
Let's not say James. How about if that was Curry? How big a deal would it be? How big a deal would it be if that was Curry?
You already know how angry that would make me, bro.
Right.
Like you already know how.
Like that people would open up conversations with you about Curry like that. They wouldn't talk about MVPs. They wouldn't talk about winning the NBA championship. They'd start with him being a triple double machine. That would start the conversation.
Exactly. So, but to keep it on. Russ obviously is going to be a 25K, 10K player by the end of his career. James Harden is if a lot of people don't know, he's probably going to be top 2 when his career is over in 3-point field goals made, which is
going to be another
blasphemous to
25,000.
me.
He's going to be another 25,000 point guy.
25,000
Don't
points.
leave that out.
You got PG, who is one of the most complete players that we've ever seen.
Right.
No, very, very little holes in his game, and it's probably going to be remembered as that. And then Kawhi Leonard, who is one of the better two-way players that we've ever seen. You add this to his resume. If he has a finals MVP with that, that's going to be good.
What if Russ adds the finals MVP to his resume?
Oh man. Oh wow. That would be
Well, I never considered that.
No, nobody never considered that, man. But I know for damn sure it can't be James. What if PG adds the finals to his resume?
I'm thinking about Russ because I'm thinking about all the things that could go right. Like you talked about me, like you talked about Brooklyn, like if things go right. Because like a lot of times we poke holes in a lot of teams and what they do wrong. And if you're looking at this team with the Clippers, and I'm thinking, what if this thing works? What if this thing works and these guys end up winning it and Russ ends up winning the finals MVP? What kind of conversation are we having? Is it going to be a short one? And even if it's a short one, because I was around when everybody was telling me that Dirk Nowitzki was the greatest power forward in NBA history when they won the NBA championship in 2011. I was around. Yes, I was around when that was going on.
No.
I was around when that was going on.
Let's not jump off the top rope, man. Let's
with the elbow.
Let's not jump off the top rope.
That's what I was hearing.
So
that's what I was hearing.
What it would mean for those individual players, man, because it means a lot for a lot of these players. Because we all know, as far as the organization goes, man, like winning the NBA championship is pretty much meaningless, unless you don't have the players and the storylines to basically one up. We was early today, everybody talking about Jokic with a 3-peat, bro. Like already, I'm just like, okay, all right. The Denver Nuggets is gonna be this big ass conglomerate all of a something. Okay, whatever. But I said all that to say, I know for a fact it's not gonna happen. You know how I know for a fact that it's not going to happen? And you're doing this, Bobby, bro, like because
I'm saying because you just said you know for a fact, and that's not possible.
Put us on.
It is.
Put us on to what you know.
It is.
Please,
I'm gonna put you on.
Please,
I respect your opinion, but
first off,
put us on to what you know.
First off, it's the West. You know what they gotta go through. But all right, let's just take a look. Clippers. Philly, who got the harder road to get into a conference finals than the other?
Okay, first of all,
it depends on the seeding. I don't know yet.
Not only that, big odds. Three of the 4 best records in the NBA was in the Eastern Conference, which means that the East is top heavy.
I'm not talking about the records. All I'm saying is no. The reason why I say this because the Philadelphia 76ers, bro. Probably the only team they'll probably only have to play Milwaukee or Boston just to get to the finals.
If Philly is the 6th seed, Milwaukee is the 3 seed, and Boston is the 1 seed,
that's a nightmare getting to the finals. That is a nightmare. What are you talking about?
All right. Let's go to the Clippers. Okay, let's go to the Clippers. Wait. Let's do better than that. Hold up. Let's go to the Clippers side of things. Okay, Clippers played last year. The Suns, right? The first round, right?
Right.
So. If they won, that means they would have to play Denver, who won the whole thing.
Okay.
Right?
Then
that would mean they would have to play the Lakers.
Okay. So stop right there. Before you go any further, they dropped the champs. So with dropping the champs, that means everybody else after that, we got a legit shot. It ain't like, we got to drop the champs. We dropped the champs. Then damn, now we got to see these dudes. We dropped the champs. Anybody else in front of us, bring it. Give me a break, Leaf. What are you doing?
Are you sure? Yes. Are you that positive?
Yes.
Are you that positive? Is that easy? Because the thing is,
I'm saying Leaf, that's a hard road. Like if let's say Miami's the 5 or 4 seed.
That's 3 contenders.
So that's what I'm saying, Leaf. If Miami's the 5 or 4 seed, right?
2.
Just listen, Leaf. If Miami is the 5 seed, and the Sixers, let's say the Sixers get the 6 and actually beat Milwaukee in the 3rd seed, right? Okay. Bam. Then what they got to play next? Then they got to play if that's the 3, they play the winner of the 2 and the 7.
Yeah.
No. Okay, well let's. The 3-6 is going to end up playing the 1 seed.
No, they're gonna end up playing the 2. The 4 or 5 end up playing the 1.
Okay.
4 and 5 play 1. Yeah, 1.
Okay.
Yeah. So so let's just for the sake of all of this, let's say they got to play. Let's say they got to play
the Knicks.
Let's say they got to play the Boston. I mean the Bucks. Then play Miami. Then play Boston. Like, wait.
You said Miami was 5. You said Miami was 5.
Let's say they're 6. Let's say that they're 6. But let's just say for the sake of argument, that's the road to get to the NBA championship. I got to go through Milwaukee in round 1, and then I got to go through Boston in the semifinals.
I got a question. Where do y'all have Philly finishing in the standings this year?
I don't know.
I got them out. I got them outside the top 5. I do.
Give me a top 5 right now.
Oh, right today?
Yes.
I mean, right now. I mean, it's looking real tricky.
I'll help you. Bucks, Celtics. Give me a next 5. Give me a next 3.
Right today? I mean, Atlanta is in there right now. Indiana is in there.
No. I'm talking about the Knicks. Like the season is over.
That's easy. Boston, Boston, Milwaukee, Cleveland, the Knicks,
Miami,
Miami, and then Philadelphia.
You sure about that?
I'm just putting out names and no.
That's where I'm going. That's where I'm going. Absolutely.
Okay. All right. So here we go. The number 6 seed, they play the number 3 seed, which is who? The Knicks, right?
No,
Knicks, the Cavs.
So Philly will have to see Cleveland in round 1.
Okay.
What point are you trying to prove, Leaf?
Is Cleveland a contender? No. So that's they out. Boom.
Okay.
They beat them. So they would go to play the number 2 seed, which is Milwaukee, right?
Okay.
Okay, Milwaukee. Boom. That's one contender. Say they beat them. That's one contender. They get them out of there. Say they play Boston finally. Then they get out. That's 2 contenders that they got to play.
How many contenders in the Western Conference?
My logic is consistent. They got to play.
How many contenders in the Western Conference?
Contenders.
Okay, one more team. How many contenders in the Western Conference? It ain't like 5 or 6. I think it's only 2, to be honest.
Denver, Lakers, Suns.
The Lakers. Have you been watching the Lakers play, Lee?
Okay, the Lakers is not it. Okay, all right. So Denver, Suns.
That's it.
That's where the love stopped.
So that's 2 teams.
That's
2.
The Clippers.
2 teams.
I'm gonna have the Clippers on mine.
So all right. So the Clippers. I have to play. Let's say.
So you got 2 teams. So you got 2 teams in the East. Let's by your logic, you got 2 teams in the East and 3 teams in the West. It's not like you got 6 teams in the West or 4 or 5 teams. One more team. Lee, what we doing?
I want to know what your point is, Lee.
Yeah, that's what I'm trying to figure out. It's not like it's a harder road.
My point is this: at any given time in the playoffs, we know that even though a couple of teams outside of the 2 contenders, the Warriors could win a series still. They can win a playoff series still.
A series. We're talking about winning the NBA championship. That's what a contender is.
Yeah, but the thing is, the matchups would play an effect, bro. Like because more so than they would do in the Eastern Conference. And the reason being,
this was Charles Barkley post game last night. Dude, that's what you're doing. I knew I heard this somewhere, Lee. Hell nah.
This is what Charles Barkley post game. I didn't watch it, but
okay.
I did so, however, watch I didn't even watch the KD meltdown last night, but I just seen it the next morning because I was watching the first half of the game and then I said I'm turning it off. But but the reason why I say it is because at any given moment in the Western Conference, we all know the tide can turn. You know what I'm saying? Like, and the thing is, with a lot of those teams, even though they not the championship, the Warriors is not the championship contenders that they was. The Lakers is not the championship contenders that they was. They can be if things go the right way. You know what I'm saying? So if they get the matchup that they want, if they avoid a certain team that they wanted, they avoid a certain matchup that they can avoid, they can end up back in the conference finals and maybe in the finals. We seen it with the Warriors a couple of years ago. We seen it with the Lakers. We seen it with we've seen it with the Suns. So, like these are teams that could end up back there. You know what I'm saying? The Warriors, the Suns have made the finals in the last 3 to 4 years.
Yeah.
These are facts.
Well, we definitely gonna see it. We definitely gonna see it, Leaf. It's good to see you, my brother. No doubt about that.
Brother.
Yes,
Okay,
sir.
I send you some more money with man, but you're being ungrateful and shit. I'm like, God damn, I sent you $2.
Nigga bought me a slice of pizza yesterday, Ox.
Man,
Now he want me to spend some time with him. That's what he want me. Nigga bought me a slice of pizza. Nigga bought me a slice of pizza. Thank you very much. Thank you very much, Leaf. I appreciate you, bro. Oh, man.
All right.
Yo.
Hey, Leaf, you know what time it is? Hey, it's Wednesday night, man. Send me a slice. Send me a slice later.
I ain't sending you shit, man, because you out here being big. I ain't sending your ass nothing.
Oh, man. My man. The GOAT Angie Carr with another one. The Supersonics getting a chip before the Clippers.
Well, they got to
the
get
Supersonics already got one.
Yeah, yes, they do. They got to get a team first. That's what they got to do. More than anything, we got to get a team back up in Seattle. So we definitely got to do that.
Daniel Mason, chill. Are you out on the Timberwolves yet? If not, how long do they have to change your mind?
This season right here, because I'm a big fan of Anthony Edwards, and I think he's a franchise player. I think that he's going to be the best two guard in the league in the next 2 years. I think he's going to win the league MVP before his career is over, and I think the way that team is built, this is the first time that they've actually been together for this period of time. They wasn't together last year long. Cat missed 54 games. Now that they've actually gotten this crew together, it's going to take some time to figure it out, but I'm in on Minnesota. I think they're top 5 seed in the West.
Like Minnesota. In fact, Chitchat, you even insinuated earlier that Anthony Edwards might possibly pass D-Wade on that shooting guard list.
I'm not saying that he's going to, but from what I think he can be, I think it could be a conversation at the end of his career. When we get later on in his career, we get toward when we get around his prime, where we get like 8, 9, year 10, where I think he's going to be, I think it could be a conversation. I do.
Let me see. Real talk. What up, bro? You there?
What's up, Box?
What up?
What's up, Chill? How you doing?
What up?
All right. What's going on, brother?
Not much, man. You know, I always gotta chop it up with y'all a little bit.
Never heard you. Never talked to you before. I don't ever remember talking.
Yes, you have. We always agree on Tatum, Chill. That's our guy. That's what we find common ground.
Oh, okay. That's right.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
All right, I'm with you.
Hey, Bob, I do have Fox as a top 3 PG in the league, by the way, only behind Steph and Luka. Now, if you consider SGA a 2, if you consider SGA a 1, then he's 4th. But if you consider SGA a 2, which I do, he's number 3. And Chill, to the Amp point, I want to be with you on Amp, but I don't know if he's ever going to be better than SGA at the 2 guard spot.
I 100% think he is. I do.
I don't know.
I 100%. Well, the reason why is because from a bucket standpoint, I think he could be that good. Just from a bucket standpoint, I think he could be just as good as SGA. The athlete that he is, the transition player that he is, when he put that mid-range in his game on a consistent basis, I think he's going to be phenomenal. I think that the defensive side is going to separate him because I think he could be an all-league defender. And when I say all-league defender, I don't mean second team. I mean like he's in a conversation with Drew Holiday. Dudes like that, where I'm the best defensive 2 guard in the game. Like that. I think he could be that good. And that's where the separation is. I think he could be the league MVP at some point. I do. I think he could be the league MVP at some point. I think he could be that good. I can't say that about Shaq.
I mean, Shaq, I want to say averaged a steal and a block last year. I think he was one of the only guards to average both sides. SJ has some 2-way potential as well, but as far as the Clippers go, and you know, how does the title affect them? I'm looking at it for Russ and Harden. Like, it kind of legitimizes like the cartoon numbers that they put up early in their career. Like when Harden was in Houston, because he didn't get it done, it's not celebrated maybe to the level that it should be. But I remember though, like the numbers Harden was putting up in Houston, the 36 and 34 a game with 7, 8 assists and
10.
like
10. He was leading the league in assists.
stuff in the stat sheet year after year after year. Like Harden and Russ get a chip, and y'all talked about Russ averaging the triple double 405 years. Like that, I think some uncomfortable conversations have to start happening with both of those players and where they rank in their position. Like, I think you can start having like a legit Russ better than CP3 convo, especially if CP3 doesn't finish with a ring.
They don't want to have that conversation.
They don't want to have that conversation. Like, I think he could be borderline top 5.
They don't want to
He
have
could
that
be borderline.
Now, CP was elite on the defensive side of the basketball, so I think that's where the separation is with him. But with that being said, I look at Russ's resume, and I look at him getting a ring like you now getting your master's degree, and now you get that raise. Now you can run the company. That's the only thing that's holding you back. You up there, you in middle management. You right there. Your office is 2 doors down from the executive. You finish your master's degree, you got that job. That's you now. That's how I feel like. That's how I feel like with Russ, because if you look at his resume, and everything that he's done throughout the course of his career, man, it's going to be hard as hell to just overlook that stuff. And people are going to start to nitpick. That's when you know you're at the top of the game, when they start nitpicking and saying shit like efficiency-wise, he wasn't that good in the mid-range and he couldn't shoot the back. When in reality, you look at his numbers and the fact that how many point guards got 25,000 points? How many point guards got 10,000 assists? It'd be just him. That's it. That's it. Plus, plus having a ring, not just having a ring. We downplay, and me and Sturdy was just talking about this. We look past what he did because he did it so often that he made it look like it was every day. It was just recreational. You know how difficult it is to average a 20-point triple-double? And Russ did that 4 times in 5 years. We made it look like, yeah, he ain't no big deal. It was a huge deal. And he was doing that on the regular. And what he also proved was he proved that it wasn't a fluke where I did it, because he went and did it somewhere else. And he went and did it somewhere else to prove that it wasn't a fluke, as opposed to I'm only doing it here because this is what the system is. So I think for them to win it and for him to be, I'm not saying that Russ is the lead guard in them winning it, because I'm on record. I don't think you can win it with Russ as your man. I don't think you can win it. But if they were to do that, it'd be a big deal. We have to have some really uncomfortable conversations that people don't want to have.
They don't. And at the end of the day, especially at that position, there's only 2 PGs that are solidified one guys on championship teams, and that's Steph and Isaiah. Magic. Excuse me, Magic.
Mm-hmm.
Those 3, but everybody else at that position, they weren't necessarily the one guy, the number 1 guy on their team if they have a championship at all. But I do want to talk about also Chill Tatum a little bit with you, man. Man, our boy been hooping this year. Chill, my boy been hooping.
No, he hasn't. According to everybody else, he ain't 40 a game, so he ain't really that good, right? He ain't 35 a game, so he ain't really that good. Meanwhile, the Celtics are at the top of the Eastern Conference. And at the top of the Eastern Conference with Jason Tatum getting a ho-hum 33-8 2 nights ago against, he only did it against Washington. Like he just rolled out of bed and got 33-8. What we doing, yo?
I'm loving that he's posting up more. Now, I didn't like the Miami game. I didn't like the shot selection in the Miami game. I think he got back a little bit to too much step back 3. But the rest of the games, he's posting up. He's shooting mid-range shots now. And like we've been saying, if he does that, because he's elite on the defensive end of the basketball, and he's the best rebounder on that team. And he has been now for what? It's going to be this year and last year.
Mm-hmm.
100%.
So 100%.
Tatum being top 5 to me, if he does that, should not be controversial anymore.
What I don't want to do is I don't want to disregard the other stuff that he does. Like a lot of people only talk about how quote unquote inconsistent he's been as a scorer, when in reality, the other stuff that he does helps them win ball games. You brought up Miami. The thing that I dug about that Miami game more than anything was they made it clear to Drew Holiday, yo, they left you on an island out there. We ain't doing that with you. That dude jump on you, we jumping on his ass. That's not going to happen with us. That is not going to happen. We are not leaving you out there by yourself to let him destroy you. No. We are getting involved with that. And these other dudes that he run with, we'll jump on them too. It's different when you running with dudes like that. You have a different aura about you, a different confidence about you. Jason Tatum is running with that. I got him as the league MVP this year, and I'm standing on that.
Yeah, I'm chill. I'm right there with you. And that Boston starting five, like their bench is kind of a weak spot, but I don't know a better starting five in the league right now when you have Drew and Derek White as a backcourt, just two tremendous defensive players. Then you have Jaylen Brown, Tatum, and then at the five spot you got a Porzingis who can stretch the floor and post up, and bro, they have a great starting five.
I don't even think that's their best starting five. What I want to do is I want to keep Drew at the one. I want to bring Derek White off the bench. I want to move Jaylen Brown to the two. I want to move Jason Tatum to his natural position at the three. I want to put Al Horford at the four and put KP at the five. That's what I want to do.
You think Al is? I've been watching Al this season. I don't know if he's better than any of those five players, though, for him to justify starting over one of them.
This is what you're thinking about with Al. I think you're thinking about Al as buckets. I'm just thinking about dirty work. That's it. I got everybody else. I just need dirty work from him.
Your starting five doesn't necessarily have to be your most talented five. It just got to be your best, your the best group to start with.
Yes.
Yeah, but Derek White has just been phenomenal for that team ever since they started. Yeah, ever since they started starting him, he's been playing phenomenal. Yeah, I think won the all defensive second team last year, and looks like he's well on his way to making another team. And then I think also the reasoning for starting a Derek White is because if you saw in the Knicks game, Chill, which I think this is what they're going to do when they play like teams that have a bigger front court. So we know that initially in the starting lineup, Tatum is the four. But I was thinking like, oh, how is Tatum going to guard like these bigger four men? So when they faced a Randall, who's a big physical four, they had Drew as the POA on Randall. So then I think the thinking is, well, if our point guard is going to be guarding the four, then we need another guard out there who could be Derek White that could guard the opposing team's point guard and keep him in front. I think that's the thinking behind it. Because like my worry about the Celtics would be against Milwaukee. Because again, you have Brook, you have Giannis at the four, and then if you just go, position for position, that would mean in this starting lineup that Tatum would have to guard the four, which is Giannis, and I don't know if that could potentially put him in a lot of foul trouble in the series because Giannis is so, rim running to the basket, very physical. So I'm thinking in this starting lineup, they're going to have Drew potentially guard Giannis and then feel comfortable enough of having Derek White on Dame. That's my thing.
I think it's the other way around. Drew has had really good success against Dame. I think that's what they're going to have him dealing with. I think they're going to have Drew dealing with Dame more than anything because he's had pretty good success against him. No doubt.
Real talk. Did you say Drew guard Giannis?
Yes, that's what he said. And
because when they faced the Knicks, Bob, they had Drew on Randall, who was at the four.
I think Drew's a little bit different than Giannis, though.
It's no.
I mean, Randall is no Giannis Antetokounmpo.
No, he's not.
It's no way Joe Mazzulla does that to Drew. I understand stopping the ball in transition, slowing him down or whatnot. I understand that. But other than that, Drew, stay the hell away from Giannis.
Please. You can help. You can help, yes. But do not get him caught on switches.
Definitely come help. As soon as he puts that ball down in the mid-post,
you can come help.
Come over here and help. But
what up, Random? What up, homeboy?
What's going on? How you doing?
What up?
Chilling. I had to work this morning, so I missed the panel. So after the James Harden trade, I want to ask y'all about how Russ fits because immediately My problem was I was like, ooh, Russ seems like the odd man out here. So I wanted to ask y'all about that. And I'm gonna watch the panel tonight once I get home for real. Yeah, Grant, I'm everywhere. I'm everywhere right now. But I want to see how does he fit in there? What are your concerns? And then obviously I want to touch a little bit on the Spurs game last night, Spurs Suns game, but you already touched on that. So
yeah, we did. Yes, we did.
Yeah.
I think that Russ, he's got to be on the floor because if you ask him to go back to the bench, you're going to lose him. I'm 100% confident in that. You ask him to go back to the bench and be a rotation guard, you're going to lose him. I think Russ should be on the floor as your lead guard. If James Harden is going to play, he's got to play the 2, and he's got to play off the ball.
Do you think he can adjust to doing that, or this is kind of because also with James, like feels like his last chance for real.
This doesn't feel like that. This is that 100%. It is. Yes, this is absolutely that.
So he has to kind of adjust because I sit there. I was like, okay, if he can't work here, because I was like, okay, he found a home here. There's something here for him, and I'm still not. I'm still not confident because I understand that it sucks to use it, but they haven't been healthy. They've never been healthy. Why am I supposed to believe they're supposed to be healthy now? The same way we talked about Zion a few weeks ago, the same way I feel about this. And even James Harden, the only person I know who's going to be for real healthy is Russ.
Russ is going to be in the lineup. 100% he is. Yes.
Everybody else is going to get hurt at some point in the season. And for anybody thinking that I still don't think they can beat the Nuggets, even with what they have. I don't think they can beat the Nuggets for real.
They just need a lot of stuff to go right. That's why I was thinking to myself, what happens if this thing works where James Harden is playing off the basketball? Not only is James Harden playing off the basketball, you got Leonard at the 3 and being a better defender than what he was in the last couple of years before playing at the defensive level that he played in a couple of years ago before he broke down, before he tore his knee up. If he could get back to playing at that level, not necessarily being that defender, but playing at that level. You got Paul George at the 4, which in this league, like Malone, Garnett, Barkley, Dirk Nowitzki, Chris Webber, like them dudes is gone. So the bruising 4, like guys like Julius Randle, those guys are not lit. That's not the NBA isn't littered with guys like that anymore. Like a lot of the 4 men are stretch 4s. They playing on the perimeter. They playing 15 feet away from the basket. So they're not dragging guys to the block, which means that Paul George isn't going to have to deal with brute force on a nightly basis at the 4 spot. Mm-hmm. With that being said, now you got Zubac running at the 5, and now you got Russ as your distributor. And Russ actually hasn't been bad as a distributor. I didn't love James Harden coming over because I thought Russ fit better with this group. But now you add James Harden to this group, that's exactly what you're going to do. You're going to add James Harden to this group. You're adding him off the basketball. He does not need to be a guy dominating the basketball like he did in Philadelphia, because I think that that's a recipe for disaster, because now you got 4 ball-dominant guys. Somebody's got to be the primary ball handler. Russ was the primary ball handler early on in the game. Then you get late into the game. That's when both Kawhi Leonard and Paul George would now take over the playmaking duties and the scoring duties. And you could tuck Russ away, and Russ is less prone to make mistakes. But now you add James Harden to that, and now James Harden is basically playing off the basketball as a one-on-one player. We run sets for him, but we don't have him as a ball-dominant guy because that's going to screw the offense up.
Okay, so I guess you just touched on it. So what if it does go bad? Obviously, I don't want this to happen. I want to see them healthy in the playoffs so that if they do have a chance, even if it is against the Nuggets, I think the Nuggets are the one team where I just see Aaron Gordon beating up Paul George in a post, and nobody on that. I guess maybe Kawhi, but with his knees, I don't know. When it comes to Jokic, you just keep throwing bodies at Jokic, and hopefully that works. But if it does go bad, this is the last year also because Kawhi and Paul George have options. So this is such a big year for them.
James Harden does too.
James Harden has one too.
Yes, sir.
Jesus.
So he comes.
So it has to work this year, or else.
Oh, they all in. They all in.
Oh,
they're all in. They're all in this season.
James Harden was your idea for going all in?
Yeah, they all in with James Harden. They pushed all their chips to the front of the table. James Harden, he's it.
So, okay, if it does go bad, obviously I'm just saying this because I want to. But if it does go bad, how does it look? Okay, let's just say they're kind of middling at the deadline. Do they try and get another person, or you're like, you know what? Is there any way we could trade?
James Harden has zero trade value. Zero.
Well, I understand this is it for James. He's staying a Clipper probably until his NBA life is over.
Unless this thing works and it looks really good, where he now becomes somebody who can help somebody. But if this thing goes the other way, I don't think his trade value does not look good. It doesn't. Mm-mm.
So if it goes bad, how does it look like?
Well, I'll tell you what's not going to happen. They're not scrapping it. We opening up a new arena next year. Who we opening up? Who we trotting out there next year in this new arena?
If they go and lose the first round again,
right?
Okay, I think
we're trotting Russ and Zubac and Terrence Mann. That's who we trotting out there next year in this new arena.
I'll say this: PG's going to take the option, and James Harden going to take the option because I don't think they're going to make that kind of money anymore.
James Harden is not going to take the option because there is no option. This is the option year. He comes off the books after this year. After this year, his contract is up.
Okay, my bad. I thought that. I thought he's okay. So then,
yes,
Randall, what is your issue with James Harden, Randall?
Well, besides the fact that we've seen the man. It's crazy. 20 years from now, we're gonna have to explain who this guy is to some kids because they're just not gonna understand. But like the fact that he's quit on his last 4 teams, and he's traveled around the league like me when I played football and I got all these miles. Like, so I'm just sitting there like. I'm not saying Philly was great, right? I'm not saying Philly was great. They clearly had their problems, but to just burn it down like that, and then you're hitching your ride up to a guy, Kawhi, when he's right, he's great, but he's not right, and every day he gets a little less right because of his knees, right? Paul George, okay, even at his best, I'm like, and his best was before he messed up his leg. His leg in the Olympics 5 years ago?
Broke it. That was in 2016. Leonard is the guy that you get when you get in your car, Big Ox, and you turn the key and you hope it lights up. You're like, all right, okay, we'll get that. Right.
So I'm like, okay, you're literally hitching your ride to that. And I'm sorry, like, Kawhi was great last year, but game 2, that was it. You got 2 games.
No, you got a game and a half. You didn't get.
Okay, you got a game and a half, and I'm sitting there like, I'm supposed to try and win a championship with this. When Denver, Jesus Christ, Denver. You can say they only got 7 people, but them 7 people are nice. They know who they are.
They're the team to beat in the West. They're the team to beat in the West, 100%.
Yeah, and like Phoenix, if I guess the major question mark is Bradley Beal's back, and did they figure out what's going on with Devin Booker yet? Because I know he had that MRI or whatever.
Well, he still hasn't been cleared yet. But I heard he's been doing some running. I have heard that. I heard he's been doing some running, and I heard he's been involved in practice. But we'll see what happens with him. And then you have at third best, if everything goes right, they're maybe the 4th best team because I still would take the Lakers over them. Me too.
Mm-hmm. Well, you know how it goes though, man. We gotta wait and see. What's up, Breezy?
Shout out to y'all. I've just been enjoying the show. Shout out to Chill. Shout out to Big Ox.
What up?
One of the best duos out here. Yeah, great duo. Shout out to Random Speaks. Random Guy Speaks. I was looking at the Clippers and I really feel like this. If they compete even heavy, they're gonna have California on fire. I feel like shout to Ox. I feel like the Beam, is one of the teams that's going to be looked at as a playoff contender. And case in point is 4 teams in California. 4 out of 4 teams can make the playoffs. The Clippers, the Beam, the Golden State Warriors, and who am I forgetting?
The
Lakers, of course.
Has California professional basketball ever been this strong?
I sure hope them Warriors don't make the playoffs.
But for real, Chill. In your opinion, real quick. Sorry, real quick. But has California professional basketball ever been this strong?
Last time I remember it being this good was when the Lakers and the Kings West Finals. That's the last time I remember it being this good. I don't remember it being this good. I mean, the Clippers were. The Clippers were good in the for a brief stint in the middle of the 2000s with Elton Brand and Lamar Odom, but the Lakers weren't very good, and the Warriors weren't very good during that time, and the Kings were on the backside of becoming better in the mid 2000s. But the time that I remember it being that good was when the Lakers and the Kings was in the West Finals.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Sorry about that. I just had to get that one. I just had to get that last question.
Nah, it's all good. I listen to your content too. Shout out to you. I wanted to ask Chill. Now, like y'all said, and again, y'all made a lot of valid stuff before I pulled up. A Sturdy, just all of y'all. You know what I'm saying? But what I will say is, I think Westbrook. Everything y'all said, I agree with. But to add to that, I feel like a guy like James Harden, he has such a I get my way, I'm taking my ball home. If he don't fall under Tyrone Lue or any type of coach playing style or system, and he just takes this rogue act, it's not going to fare well for him, especially with him going this, like you said, his last year in a contract. He has to make himself, likable, I guess. You know what I'm saying? And to add to that, I think it's dope that he's there because I kind of want to see that clash between Harden and Westbrook versus KD. I kind of want to see, to me, it's like the OGs of the game in a swan song with LeBron. He almost out. KD, he wants to win it before he lives. Westbrook definitely won a championship. Paul George is there for a championship. Kawhi, he got his championship, but I think he does want to put the Clippers on the map. Their expansion team that came to the league, I think 1970, right, Joe? Something like that. And they one of the teams that never won it. So I think, if they do win it, again, I feel like that state of California is going to be on fire when it comes to basketball. And I'm be honest, I'm excited to see it. I got them a 50+ win team, and I got them going past the first round. I got them a second round team. That's how I look at the Clippers. Right now.
You had me until you said that James Harden is that guy who, take his ball and go home. Because I know that dude. I hate that dude. Like if he ain't playing, we can't play. If he ain't playing, he gonna take his ball and leave. Oh, I hate that fucking dude. Get him the hell out of here.
Are you chill real quick? Do you see him like, okay, this doesn't work, and he's just like in Europe somewhere, like Kemba Walker, just playing somewhere for this shit out, or China?
He'll play somewhere. No,
yeah, he's gonna be in China, just making
his career isn't over, but it's gonna be hard for him to get back to this. We're talking 4 years, 4 teams in the last 4. He goes from Houston to Brooklyn to Philadelphia to the Clippers. So really quickly, guys, he's played with Russell West in the last 4 years. He's played with Russell Westbrook. Now, Kevin Durant, Kyrie Irving, Joel Embiid, now Russell Westbrook, and Kawhi Leonard. That's who he's played with in the last 4 years. And
Paul George. Nasty team. I'm not gonna lie. If you just make a team
about that.
Out of his teammates,
that's who he's played with in the last 4 in his last 4 stints. That's who he's ran with. Oh, and Chris Paul too. I don't leave him out.
Oh yeah, Chris Paul. But all right, Random. All right, Breezy. Appreciate y'all. Catch us on Saturday.
Yes, sir. Good to see you, fellas. And
yeah. Man, well, let me run down these quick super chats. We're gonna get out of here.
Yes, sir.
Let's see. We got one from Aramis Jones. BI was out versus Golden State on Monday. Now he's at again because a sore knee, had an MRI and it showed no structural damage. But he's not playing tonight against OKC on ESPN. I can't defend this man no more. I get what you're saying, Chill.
I understand neck injuries. I do. I understand structural damage. I understand things like that. But when it's something that's manageable and it's not going to get worse, why are you not going, B? Why? Why are you not going?
Gotta play, man. Gotta play.
I don't get it.
Rollo 555. Luka is the early lead to win MVP this year.
Is he really? Are we 100% sure about Luka being the early leader to be the league MVP this year? Because as of right now and today, if the season ended today, yeah, he may very well win it. I think he may, as of right now. I think Dallas is second in the Western Conference. I think he's averaging like 40 and 10. So yeah, you could definitely make that. You could definitely make that argument. Sure, I can get with that.
If the Lakers would have beat us the other night, I would like to put AD's name in that hat.
AD name is definitely getting his name is going to be in that hat, Big Ox. Yes.
Yeah, I gotta respect what AD's doing so far. Chilltown, you got anything else before we shut down or?
It's basketball season, Big Ox. Basketball season, Big Ox.
What games you tuning into tonight?
All of them. I'm club hopping tonight on League Pass. Right. Yep, I'm club hopping tonight only. And don't get me wrong, Big Ox. You know, when you club hopping, you'll stick your head in this one, you'll stick your head in that one. Nah, that's kind of whack. I'm kind of feeling that one. But you'll find a spot where you're feeling it, and you're going and you'll lay down for a little bit. So right. I saw some games on the docket. So I'm gonna stick my head in the door and see what's cracking. And
no doubt.
I'll definitely get with you, no doubt about it.
Okay, well, let me see what Quabe got to say. He says Man, what happened to the new sitting rules? Players exploiting and laughing at the new rules, and it's only the second week.
Only week 2. That's it, yo. And Kawhi Leonard said it. There are no rules that are going to make me play more. The reason why there's no rules that's going to make him play more is because Kawhi Leonard has a condition.
Right.
There's not that those two things. It's not like he's sitting down voluntarily. He has a condition.
Right.
And he's been playing, but he's got a condition. So I think those two things are different. Those two things are not the same.
Yeah. So that's why I felt Kawhi when he said it. Like you can't make a rule that's gonna make my knees magically heal today.
Big Ox, I can't make you play, B. If you can't, there's a difference between you won't go. There's a difference between you won't go and you can't go.
Right.
Those two things are not the same thing. I won't go. It's just like, yeah, I can actually work today, but it's probably best that I don't. No.
Aramis Jones tapped back in and says it's because he operates with the mindset of mind ain't right, body follows. If he ain't 100%, he won't give 90.
Well, how the hell I'm not always going to feel like playing. I'm not going to always feel like, what the hell? So I'm only going to go to work when I feel like going to work? That's it? That's not the way that works. No.
I see that all the time where it's like we don't necessarily need motivation. You just got to do what you got to do.
Right.
Like you don't got to feel like it. Yeah, man. If you don't got to feel like it, then just get it done, BR. Right. Get it done.
Man.
Well, all right, y'all. Appreciate y'all stopping by on this Wednesday afternoon. Y'all catch us on Saturday morning, or Saturday evening, wherever you are. Chilltown.
Drink water. Put a suit on. Don't drink and drive. Call your mother. Until then, take it light, but take it. Big Ox.
Y'all prepare to watch us light the beam against these Warriors tonight too.
Mm-hmm. I'm gonna stick my head in there tonight and see what's cracking.